And really, that's like cover for like you're a bitter ass. Oh, I swore.
What a shock.
We don't fucking cuss on this show.
No, especially her. She's got a very clean vocabulary.
Say what? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
We do need to stop doing that, though. Like, I'm the one who probably curses the most, but we probably should curse less.
Really? Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, for like explicit stuff for the podcast, but then if we do actually send it out to radio shows, it'll save me a lot of hassle of bleeping everyone. Although I do love a good bleep, and that's why I think starting on season 2, which is now, this is the first episode of season 2, I'm going to start bleeping us. It's completely unnecessary, but it reminds me of like Maury or Jerry Springer with all the bleeping in the background. You know, on Maury, if you ever actually watch them when they're doing like the interviews in the back and they're like yelling at the camera and stuff like that, they will bleep them just randomly to make it look like they're cussing. Like if you watch what they're saying, you can sit there and be like, I don't know what curse word could bleep into that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is a church service. What is going on?
Well, I've been watching Narcos and learned a bunch of Spanish cursing, so I can assist with that while Adro's out.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Adro's cursing back up. he's on vacation or something, right?
I don't know. He was supposed to go to Disneyland with his daughters, but I don't know. Yeah. I felt like that might have gotten canceled. I'm not sure, due to all the stuff going on. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to VM Live. I'm Jack Rollins, your host, and with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jeffrey Hoffman. What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot.
Okay. And we also have Admin Bob here. What's going on, man?
Same, not much. Just a new year trying to get a fresh start.
All right. And we have Tim. Where in the hell have you been?
I got stuck in Iowa.
Okay. The internet got Iowa. Disconnected.
Yeah.
For 6 months.
Yep.
A windstorm knocked over the one pole that connects the internet to Iowa.
Right.
Well, a winter storm did it. The cow did it.
Oh, the cow
kicked it
that
over.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So they did the Chicago fire. Now Iowa internet problems.
Internet problem. Okay. That seems like it's something that could conceivably happen. I don't hear about Iowa at all. Like they could just implode, and I don't think I'd know. Iowa and Wyoming, you don't hear anything about except for elections.
Frankly, Ohio too, kind of.
Ohio has enough people that are like dispersed, and because anywhere I've traveled the world and I've found people from Ohio, like in Europe. You know what I mean? Like there's something about Ohio where I think I said that before. I mean, if you look at, the guys who invented Superman were from Ohio. The Wright brothers are from Ohio. A ton of astronauts are from Ohio. Like if you're born in Ohio, you literally come up with ways to fly out of here as quickly as possible. So
it's like the Kevin Bacon of states.
Yes. Yeah, I think it is actually. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, rivers catch on fire.
Right? Well, and most of the franchise restaurants.
Oh yeah, Columbus.
They're all in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a test market for all sorts of stupid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be our new state tagline. Just the test market for stupid stuff. That makes sense.
Test market for stupid stuff.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're back, Tim. You were missed. I gotta try to remember it. I think I wrote it down because we were coming up with nicknames for everyone except for Adro. And I did come up with a nickname for you, and I was super excited. And then you disappeared for 6 months, and I completely forgot it.
Was it Ghost?
So no, although that'd be a pretty good one. Yeah,
that's a
good one.
I
think it was like, because I remember a conversation where we were talking about nicknames or something just on the server, and there was a question about why it's Tim And I think, Jeff, you made some kind of jokey comment about how it should be Authy or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And
Othy.
And I think I was, because that's hard to get out. I turned that into like moth or something like that.
Yes,
and I was like, Mothman or something like that was going to be yours. Because that sounds, okay. So Mothman, that sounds like a radio, early morning drive. Hey, we're here with Mothman.
Mothman and the brain. I don't know.
No, what is it from? Do any of you guys, what is that? Parks and Rec. Did any of you guys watch Parks and Rec?
Not regularly.
What I've seen of Parks and Rec is usually clips on YouTube or whatever.
Okay, because one of the radio show with Somebody and the Douche is what they would call it. The Douche.
Honestly, when the video first came on, I didn't even recognize Tim because he wasn't sideways.
No,
Hey, I changed my photo. I am right side up.
I noticed, and he's also lost weight.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't recognize you there at first either. Like,
I'd seriously considered, like, I'm still up in the air on whether or not I should put him in sideways when I post it to YouTube and Facebook. I remember we did a couple of ads for, I think, this and some other stuff that Tim was involved in, and we never explained it. So, and I'm looking back, like, as an ad guy, it's like, that was probably kind of silly because nobody knew why, and because it looked like somebody just screwed up every single time with Tim and knocked him sideways. But I got a laugh out of it.
I got a laugh out of it. It was a nice inside joke.
Right. So season 2, we officially ended season 1 of the full podcast last year in December, and we are coming on to season 2 now. This year, one of our major goals is to eventually get to video live streaming. We're looking into ways to do that doesn't just burn out everybody's computer or look like trash. Jeff and I actually live streamed a couple episodes on Twitch, and we were the only ones on video. I don't think we could see each other. And
there was something funky about it.
Yeah, and I had to just like slap a background up and of course it didn't do very well, but I just wanted to see if it would work. So that's kind of our goal for this year, and as always, the kind of overall goal is to kind of display what it means to be a visible man, to open up when needed, and to be fearless in that ability to do so. Jeff, early on when we were telling people about this show, I remember somebody had compared it to like a fly on the wall situation of hearing how men speak to one another. And I'd like it to be that way. But what we've noticed and what we know just being men is that men don't talk to one another about this stuff as much as they should. And so that's why we're here. We want to not just be a fly on the wall for female listeners to see, okay, this is kind of what men talk about, but we also kind of want to be a fly on the wall for the male listeners to sit there and say, you can have these kinds of conversations with the right people in the right setting. And we joke around, we have a lot of fun, we make fun of each other, that kind of stuff. So we still have that kind of banter, but we can still be open and honest when ready. So everybody had a hopefully pretty good holiday season. Mine was not fantastic. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but for those of you who may be just listening for the first time, or Tim, I was supposed to go to Australia over the holidays to see my partner after like 2 years because of this COVID stuff. And they were looking like they were going to open up the borders for everyone, but they didn't. And so like a week before Christmas, I had to cancel my tickets. And I probably wouldn't have been there actually on, like, the idea was, or the tickets were, I would have actually left Christmas Eve, and I would have ended up there on Boxing Day. And depending on what version of quarantine they felt like doing, I would either be stuck in a hotel for 2 weeks, or I would be, if it was just a week, I was going to stay with her.
Yeah.
Because nobody was going anywhere. So, getting that kind of news, and then, I told her family and having to tell her kids, because I don't want her to have to always be the person giving bad news, and I've shared bad news with adults, but I've never had to, like, what I felt like, even though it wasn't obviously not my fault, I felt like I let these kids down, and that was something that I was not emotionally prepared for, and it kind of opened me up to what parents, have to do all the time, and it kind of made me feel more sympathetic and then empathetic with her, with some of the stuff that's been going on or had gone on, with her ex, and having to, like, tell her kids all this stuff. So while nothing like terrible happened here, I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be, and I feel bad for the people that were here, because I was just in the dumps, and they're trying to have, like, a good Christmas, and I'm sitting there, like, because it's probably insulting to sit there and know that I don't want to be there. But I think they, I kind of explained it, and I think they understood, but it sucked.
That does suck, man. I mean, you're getting so psyched up for this, and finally gonna get out there to Australia. You've been talking about it for a while, and then, oh my God, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I don't know what else to say other than that's a big one.
Yeah, that would be very. I could tell that was a big shift. That was a big disappointment. There was a lot of frustration.
Yeah. It was frustrating, and then, talking with her about it, and being, we both kind of walled ourselves up a little bit, and I feel like that was I don't want to say a blown opportunity, but I feel like that was an opportunity for us to kind of mourn this together. But she had to still provide Christmas, and so she kind of had to compartmentalize it, and I don't have to, like, I was lucky enough, or I don't know, smart enough or whatever, like, I sent my gifts for her ahead of time. Yeah.
Incredible.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
not that I'm a genius. I just didn't want to carry all that crap. Like, I wanted room for clothes and stuff. But so she still had to, like, provide Christmas for the family and for kids and that kind of stuff. And I didn't. So, it was, she kind of had, like I said, we kind of walled ourselves up a little bit to try to get through it, but it just stunk. I mean, when you're looking through a screen to see each other and celebrate that, when I should have been there, or more likely actually in the air. But even then, it's a lot different knowing that you're heading there. So anyway, that's how.
So hey, I don't want to dwell on it too much or get you down, but I guess another way to look at it might be, we're at least living in a time that this is even possible. I mean, obviously it still sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't change anything, but I think what's kind of neat is at least it's somewhat possible to at least see each other, better than a phone call from the 90s or a letter from the 70s or stuff like that. So
it's true. Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but I'm getting messages from everybody that we're echoing really bad and they can't hear us very well.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Okay.
So tell me about your guys' holidays.
Mine
what didn't happen? Go ahead, Joe.
Well, no, it sounds like you've got more to share. Go ahead.
Let's see. Where should I start? So obviously my family's fractured, with mom having passed away, right before COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
It was not the first Christmas without the parents. It's technically like the second one without the parents, but it's the first Christmas where, like, my one sister isn't talking to me, isn't talking to one of my nieces, which is her, one of her daughters. So I was kind of like talking to my two nieces, like, well, what's going on for Christmas? What are we doing? Of course, my one niece has her own business. She watches everybody's dogs. So people go away for the holidays. She's generally working. Even on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, she's generally working. So it's always been difficult to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, my one niece decided, she was like, hey, one is, I love her to death, but she's living off the system. She's got 4 kids and living off, the system. Anyway, she was the one that decided to say, she said, hey, everybody can come over to my place Christmas Eve. We can cook, we can just do cookies, whatever. And I was like, okay, sounds great. And I said, my daughter has to go to her mom's later in the day, so we can come over between like 12 and 2. And then I texted her outside of this group text and I said, FYI, I said, I don't really want to be there when your mom is there, but if she happens to show up, I'll be on my best behavior. Her mom texted and said she was working, which then later found out that was a lie. Her mom just was waiting for me to respond and wasn't going to be there because I was there. Anyway, then Christmas Eve morning, I get a call from my other niece, the one that owns the dog business, and she's like, change of plans. Like, can we come over to your place and I have 2 sisters. We'll bring your other sister over to your place and me and my husband will come over. I don't know if your other niece is going to come over, because what happened, and this is kind of partly what we're all about, even though it's way younger. One of her kids, 7-year-old boy, the Christmas Eve was Friday. So Thursday, he got a mental health arrest, 7 years old. Was taken to one of the local hospitals. Apparently a local hospital he was taken to did not have a pediatric psych ward. So he spent the night in the lobby of the regular psych ward. Her quick backstory, this niece with the kids is divorced. Her ex abused her, and apparently when the kids have been going over to his house, he's been doing, not terrible. I mean, it depends how he's been doing bad things with the kids. Borderline physical abuse, borderline sexual abuse. He's been watching porn on his computer and the kids are running around there while he's doing it. So they think this is where some of this is coming from with my one grandnephew. So that changed all the plans for Christmas Eve. Because obviously she was distraught. She didn't know what to do, didn't have anything ready for Christmas Eve. Then Christmas Day, I stopped over there really briefly to drop gifts off, saw them, spent a few minutes with them, talked with her a little bit about it. Because we haven't been the closest. We've been working on getting closer. Part of that is, due to her mom and things that happened in the past with her mom. So I'm trying to be there for her and help her. She knows that I'm a part of this. She thinks I'm a good role model for him versus his father, who, kind of abuses the kids. And for this particular part of the story, then again, this past week, I heard that it happened again. There was a mental health arrest, and this time it took 4 men to hold him down on a gurney. And he, when he has these outbursts, he attacks his mom, punches her. Wow. Stuff like that. And he's, 7 years old, but still, you're the parent. You don't want to fight back against your own kid necessarily. But apparently one of the neighbors, of course, recorded this on their phone and sent it to her ex. So then her ex called Child Protective Services and they went over. So now there's this whole big thing and she's got to go to court. And yeah, it's just a mess because her ex is an asshole. Sorry. Oh, no swearing. Sorry. Oh, well. And he's trying to make it out like he's a great guy to Child Protective Services. And I know, even though my sister and I don't talk much, when I did see her the other day, which is a different part of the story, she told me that this past week when she was there, she took a day off and she was there one day in Child Protective Services, and the cops came over and said, "Oh, we were told by their dad that they were either home alone or her boyfriend was here with them. And she's like, no, as you can clearly see, I'm here. And so they were kind of surprised and caught off guard by that. Although I guess, you know, they were happy to see that there was somebody there that was not what they were told.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
we're
that's
going
been-
to we're going to continue what happened here after the break.
Tim, is there a deer's head somewhere around you on the wall?
It's your entrance from the from the
It looks like there should be.
Yeah, this little dude.
Oh, okay. That counts.
I didn't go hunting this year. Actually, I was busy with learning.
Yeah. No, it just looks like a place where there would be one. Is all.
Oh no, my hunting stuff is in the other corner. Actually, you know what? Just a second. You gotta see this.
Now we're getting. What is that? A boat? Ladder?
There you
A
go.
pipe? Oh,
Target.
There's my decoy.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that
My
doesn't-
kayak.
You caught that thing? Oh, that's your kayak. Hey, you were talking about that the other day about going kayaking.
Oh my God. I think kayaking it's
I love
perfect for my mental
kayaking.
health.
It is. It's so awesome. I love it.
And it became something that my wife and I do to bond with each other. I've since found out it's called a divorce boat.
Oh,
Because you have to be pretty in tune, otherwise you fight a lot.
Didn't the guy from, what was it, NCIS? Didn't he build a boat every time he got divorced? I think the main character in NCIS, yeah, he built a boat every time he got divorced
Wow.
or something like that.
So, anyways, we kind of started on the divorce boat backwards. Obviously, started with the divorce and then got the boat.
That's a good direction.
But it's something we both enjoy doing together. It's a tandem 12-foot 8 kayak, so
That's cool.
it's nice to just get out there and away from the kids as well, just because just adult time. I mean, we had our kids young, so we never really got a whole lot of just us time. And yeah, so we're making do. We're learning.
Good.
Putting things
So
together.
before the break,
Yeah, sorry about.
Bob was telling us about some of the crazy stuff that happened, and I cut you off like mid-thought for the break. So with your permission, I'd like you to continue.
Yeah, no problem. I'll try to wrap it up as quick as I can. So there was this whole mental health issue, which obviously is still going on for my niece. And she has, reached out to me to try and help, which I'm willing to do in any way I can. Obviously, I don't have any experience in dealing with, a young boy who's acting out, but I'm happy, even if it's just to go over there and hang out for 20 minutes to a half hour, as like she said, as an example of a good guy role model.
That'd be great.
So, we'll see how that goes. We'll see what we can set up. So the other thing, talk about things going on for Christmas. So normally my daughter spends Christmas Eve with her mom, stays overnight. They celebrate Christmas because Christmas Eve, they're at her cousin's house. Christmas morning, her mom and her celebrate, and then she comes back to me. Obviously, she's in college now, 18, didn't want to stay overnight at mom's. Fine, I kind of helped her weasel around that. But then her mom calls Christmas Eve, right when I had company come over, and she's like, hey, how about if I come over tomorrow and I bring her gifts over there to your place? Since, I don't know, she said, I bought her big ticket items and I don't have a lot of stuff anyway for her to open. It's only going to take 15 minutes. And I'm like, well, I have company. I'll call you back later. And I looked at my daughter after everybody left. Told my daughter this, and I looked at her and I said, no offense, but no, I'm not having your mom and her husband come over here on Christmas Day. Not happening. I said, you might not like their house, but I'm not having. She said, no, I don't blame you. I'll go over there. And So I told him, like, no, that's not going to happen.
That's just
Hey, good
insane
boundaries,
that you
man.
would ask that.
I know. And
Boundaries.
then between Christmas and New Year's, it was just, well, some of you have heard the other thing that happened. So then Christmas Day, everything goes pretty smooth. Christmas Day, my daughter's texting with her friends, talking with her friends in the evening, walks by. She's like, I'm going over to so-and-so's house. I'm like, okay. And I know the parents and I'm friends with the parents. She's like, she's walking out the door. She's like, oh, you can come. I'm like, okay. So we both go over there. We're hanging out. And all of a sudden, we're in their living room. My daughter gets up, walks out, comes back, sits on my lap, bawling. What's wrong? She's like, my boyfriend just broke up with me. I'm like, you're kidding. Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
And he broke up with you. She's like, yeah. So then her and her best friend wandered off. So I was like, thank God we're here, because I wouldn't have known. I mean, I probably would have dealt with it at home, but it was a lot easier trying to start dealing with it with her being with her best friend, where the two girls could go walk off and talk. But I was like, I know I reached out to a couple of you guys and I'm like, dude, does this guy not know the rules of dating? You don't break up on Christmas. No. You don't break up on Valentine's Day or birthdays, or like the first, or like an anniversary of when you guys started dating or something.
You see, that can be a trap though, because then if your birthdays line up just right,
oh yeah,
you don't have any time. You're just stuck.
Yeah, there's never a good time for it, but there are times that are better.
Times that are less horrible.
Yeah, like do it. Like I mean, you get kind of screwed if you do it anytime. Like after Thanksgiving, sorry. Like
you're like a moratorium on breakups.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're
until at least the new year.
Time out.
Although they say, I think statistically speaking, at least men, when they leave their marriages, tend to leave their marriages in like November, December, January
really?
Is when they.
That's when hunting.
Hunting season. Yeah. Yeah, if it's after Thanksgiving, like. Because you're still doing all the presents, you're still doing all. I'm like, that's just you're stuck till at least mid-January, possibly through February. So
she just returned the last of his gifts that she bought him today.
Oh, so she didn't have to, like, she hadn't gone through the process of giving them yet.
No, well, no, because they'd been
good.
trying to connect, and that was warning bells were going off in the back of my head, because from like Tuesday or Wednesday of that week of Christmas, she's like, oh, I'm texting him and he's saying he's busy, we can't get together tonight. And then says him and his mom are watching a movie and she fell asleep. But I'm like, as a guy, in the back of your head, like, well, wait, if you really wanted to see her and exchange gifts, well, I'll wait and see what happens. This doesn't sound good though.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a total shock on Christmas Day when it happened, but it was just a shock that it was Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Like, dude, really?
Like, dude, that's bad form.
Christmas Day.
And then,
that's baby Jesus's birthday. That's ridiculous.
Have some respect.
So I was dealing with that all week from Christmas to New Year's, and still kind of dealing with it, but she's getting better. And then going back to what I was saying about my sister. So then the other thing, my one sister that has not been talking to me is the one that is handling my parents' estate, which the house hasn't been sold. Nothing's been going on. I don't know what's going on. I have to find everything out through my nieces if they know. So anyway, she reached out to me and she was like, the estate sale is technically done. You guys can come and pick anything. Well, actually, she didn't reach out. I got a letter in the mail. The letter in the mail said, you can come and pick out anything else that's left over that you want. It has to be done by December 31st, and you have to sign this letter and return it. And so I texted her and I was like, oh, when is this convenient for you? Because obviously it has to be convenient for her. She changed the locks on the house. I can't get in unless she's there. So we set it up for last Saturday, New Year's Day. And I went over there for a couple hours. The thing I was not prepared for listen, because she changed the locks and because of everything that's gone on since my mom passed away, this was only the third time I'd been in the house.
Mm.
And I wasn't thinking or prepared for how emotional it would be.
Yeah.
Going in there and actually looking, like I'm in the basement and there was still a lot of my dad's tools there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to take this. I mean, who doesn't want to have their dad's hammer and pound stuff with their dad's hammer? And I just left there and I picked out what I wanted. I got to go back tomorrow and finish grabbing it. But I just left there and I was like an emotional wreck. So New Year's weekend was kind of like very emotional for me. And yeah, so anyway, those were my holidays.
Okay. We can just skip over Jeff because you didn't do anything.
Just slept from Christmas to New Year.
It kind of feels that way.
Did,
a big long nap.
He would message me and he would be like, I didn't do anything today.
He was clean shaven when he went to sleep.
Right. He you did your shopping on, when was it?
I started Christmas shopping at 11 a.m. on Christmas Eve.
So everybody got a $25 card to Speedway.
It was that's the worst I've ever done in terms of Christmas shopping preparedness.
I love it. The balls.
Brazen idiocy is what it was. It turned out well, actually. Like I had the list, and I was able to get things in stores. I did obviously no online shopping, but it was good. It actually went well.
I have a question. Did it end up as Christmas Eve morning because of procrastination, like just procrastination or anxiety, or just, you know what, this isn't that important to me?
No, procrastination for sure. It's a good question.
That was the main one. It's
that procrastination.
Yeah.
Admittedly, money's an issue. And so part of me is like avoidance. I'm like, oh God, I just have to, next Friday I'll start. I'm like, oh, nope, my groceries this week. Yeah.
Real quick, Jeff, why is money an issue?
Well, so I have 2 daughters and I pay child support and I have a mortgage and bills and stuff. So,
where do those 2 daughters mainly stay?
Yeah.
One of them lives full time with me, and one of them.
So you're paying yourself child support, right?
No. He's renting a child. He's paying for the right to have his child stay with him.
That's kind of how it works right now. Yeah.
He's just paying 2 mortgages, is what it is. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And you were telling me the reason I bring it up, besides the fact that like I want to keep bringing it up until it gets into you, like I should probably. A couple weeks ago, you're like, I'm really getting ready. You're really getting ready to go to the court. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the last episode Tim was on. It was the same thing. I was editing what'll come out here in the next couple of weeks. An interview you did with Jameson Green, great writer. That was like 6 months ago. And before we do the live talks, you and I BS for a little bit. Before the person comes in, like we're just sound checking, but then it's a chance for us to have some fun. And you were talking about it then too, and it's like there's been this slow.
Here's part of the procrastination, like with the Christmas shopping.
Here's the thing: I talked to a lawyer, and I talked to the mediator who did my divorce, and there's 100% agreement that I don't have to be paying it. From a legal perspective, there is when I talked to one of them, they said, I said, I'm keeping the peace basically right now. And she said, that has its value. And because if I were to break that, that will come at a price. So, I'm the only person in the world that can make that decision. And by making that change, I impact many people's lives and futures. And so it's really easy, and it's really easy to say, well, just go do it, because fuck yeah, why not? There's a huge emotional toll that's going to be taken if I do that. So it's very easy to say go do it, but it's very hard to do.
No, totally relatable. I totally
that's why I've talked about it for a very long time, but I haven't done it.
I think that was the first conversation you and I had 3 years ago.
Probably.
It's like, how are you? And you're like, well, let me tell you the truth.
it wakes me up. It makes me angry. I've lost sleep. I've tried to compartmentalize that anger from the kids because it wasn't their, it's not their situation to have to deal, and I'm too nice, but there's, it's hard. It's a really hard decision that I'm not ready to pull the plug on yet.
Right. We're gonna go to break here in a sec, but I think one of the reasons, well, there are kind of two reasons that we bring this up all the time. One, it's funny. Just the way you kind of react to it and the absurdity of it from kind of an existential, viewpoint is funny. But two, we know, that this is gonna take a toll that really can't be calculated yet. You're not going to know exactly what's going to happen until it happens. And there's going to be some rough parts of that. However, we're the ones having the conversations with you. It's not just about the money. It's about the fact that, you send me a message and you say, I didn't sleep real well, or I'm really ticked off. I'm at the grocery store and I'm just thinking about that.
Oh, God.
Those things. We know the pain and the aggravation and all those things that it's causing you now. And so we feel like we're sitting here watching you just get the crap kicked out of you, when there is a way out,
it takes a toll on my health.
Yeah, it does.
Obviously my mental health, but I mean, my heart races, I lose sleep. I have more gray hairs in this beard because of it. So it takes a toll on me, and it subtracts minutes from my life when I don't do it. But either way, I'm going to stress over it. So I don't know the right thing to do, honestly.
It probably isn't an answer to that. All right, we're going to go to break, and we'll be back in just a minute. I decided to move away from the hip-hop music this week, apparently.
Hey, I like the lounge music.
Yeah. So we covered Jeff's immediate Christmas Eve, and that was it for celebrating the holidays, buying all the gifts, Christmas Day, good to go. Did anything happen at all on New Year's? Or did you just go to bed at like 9:30?
No, there wasn't anything eventful.
Yeah,
that happened.
I thought it was pretty.
Honestly, like I'm grateful that there wasn't much going. I mean, if I look at my couple years ago, when I think of some of the guys going through stuff right now, like the fact that I can sit here and I didn't get wasted, didn't do any kind of major, risky self-harm, wasn't sobbing in the corner, like it's pretty fucking awesome.
It is,
yeah. Pretty good. I'm pretty grateful for that.
Yeah. It is good.
And I think it would, we
awesome.
talked, and it seemed like you were using that time to kind of recover and recoup and kind of build up some energy for coming into 2020.
Yeah, it was honestly a good week. It was very balanced and chill. I did a little bit of work. I did stuff around the house, took naps. It was pretty chill. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I love the week between Christmas and New Year's because it's like this weird no man's land where really like, I still had to work, it's like, but there's a little bit of a lax kind of, we know.
Oh yeah, nobody cares.
If you don't return emails, nobody's getting on your back. They're like, because if you return an email, then you have to write back. Like, let's just agree to not talk.
Because I like one of my clients, like a lot, they were in they're in Europe, some of my clients, and they were all traveling, and so I send them the work, and my inbox would be filled with auto responses. I'm in Spain or I'm in whatever, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, that kind of nowhere, man. I love it because with the Christmas spirit, when it's there, it's just kind of like the toys are all out and you still have the tree up and it's still acceptable to celebrate Christmas. I always liked that time. And when I was in college, you were on break. And so it was just, party city at that point. But okay. So we covered everybody but Tim. Tim, tell us about your holidays, man.
Hey, I stayed up till 10 New Year's Eve, went to sleep, and that was it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Next.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm fine with that.
No, my holidays were pretty good. I admittedly spent way too much money. over Christmas and spoiled myself and everybody else, the kids and family and everybody, my wife. And I think that probably was, I felt really horrible about much of the events of the year. Not that I accept blame for anything. I just feel bad that it happened.
Right.
It was really shitty spot. I tell people today, I feel like even the little experience that I went through probably took like 5 years off my life.
Yeah.
I believe it.
You were
makes sense.
You were in a pretty rough
tough
spot
year.
there for a while.
Oh yeah. But I don't really drink anymore, so I didn't really do any drinking on New Year's or Christmas. I think Christmas Eve I had a beer with her uncle or something, just to be social. But other than that, I don't really drink, and I do a lot less crying.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot less
That's good.
a lot less being angry. Yeah, my holidays were, again, I spoiled everybody. It was almost like a relief to get to the holidays and to have that that family holiday that I was wanting. We went out and we got a live tree this year and did all. This is the first year I've ever put up Christmas lights. I was always a Grinch about it, about Christmas period. And I changed how I was responding to the holiday this year.
Okay. So it sounds like you embraced it.
Yeah.
I embraced. I embraced it.
How did you spoil yourself?
Well, I have my little Galaxy watch
That's cool.
that I kind of love now.
Yeah. I'm trying to find
and-
mine. I have a Galaxy Watch too, actually.
Oh, nice.
I like those.
That and let's see. What else did I do? I don't remember anymore. Oh my gosh. It seems like it was like last year now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm, you seem, we had talked about this before the show. You seem a lot healthier mentally and physically. You commented there's definitely been some weight loss. And frankly, not drinking is probably a big portion of that. And then you add on the kayak trip, I started I got on the scale and was not happy. So I said, okay, I'm going to, take this stuff seriously now. And, I was looking up like the calories and just like a glass of whiskey. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
It's like,
because those are the ones that, like I like a good cocktail. And on Christmas, I made this, it was fantastic. I did bourbon and then I did like sugared cranberries and, all this stuff. It was amazing. And I'm sitting there just like calculating that all up. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I don't eat that much. And, but a glass of that's like 350 calories right there. Like, oh, shit.
My new mantra has been do something little, change something little.
Nice.
I've been kind of doing that for anywhere in my life or anything where I want to affect some change. First, it has the effect of I'm not stressing out over it. I'm not really anxious over it because it is just a small little thing I can do.
Yeah, that's what they say about incremental. Like that's how you should do it. Like you shouldn't, January 1st, sit there and be like, all right, I'm going to work out 6 days a week. I'm going to cut this out of my diet. I'm going to do all that. Like they tell you not to do that because it's just way too much. And then like, you screw
French,
one
but
thing up.
fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person where like if I don't do one of the things on that list, like I'm just like, well, screw it for the rest of the day. Like I just get mad at myself.
Nope. Yep. Just one thing goes down and okay. Nope. Everything's
I screwed everything up. Yeah. So I've been doing that, trying to do that with, I started with Huel again.
Nice.
So I've been doing those for, that's an adjustment. And then, count my calories. But yeah, that whiskey and that beer, that'll get you. That'll get you.
It adds up quick.
Oh my gosh, yes it does.
Whiskey and Pop-Tarts is like 600 calories, man.
What's that?
Yeah.
Whiskey and Pop-Tarts. That's like my...
whiskey and Pop-Tarts?
I don't know why that is. Years ago, I
some combo.
Oh, it's like 11 at night. Like, that's a lot of calories. It adds
So
up.
a while back, I did this 5K that was sponsored by a brewery, and I got a shirt there, and the shirt says, "Beer is the reason I run."
Mm-hmm. It kind of cancel out.
Well, I mean, that's the funny with some of those beers. You know, you look at like Guinness, and everybody thinks it's this big, thick, heavy beer, and it's not. It just looks that way. And calorie-wise, it's about the same as even some of the more diet-style American light beers out there. But with those, it's the carbs. I mean, it's just...
The biggest thing that I've noticed is serving sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what. So you see, even the back of the box, you read the nutrition facts, see what the serving size actually is, because what you're eating is actually 4 servings.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, so obviously I learned from my dad how to be a man and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
He always would pile his plate just full, just stack it. And I mean, he's not fat by any means. He's a slender guy. He's got a gut now.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he ate that way as like it was kind of a scarcity thing for him as a kid. I think because he grew up with that. Mm-hmm. And so I was eating that way for the longest time. And I just started looking at it like how much I'm eating. And it's like 15 times what I need.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's ridiculous. Just a little change there, just kind of, okay, let's shrink this instead of, okay, I'm going to go out and change how I eat. I'm going to shrink it just a little bit.
Yeah. I also noticed eating slower helps.
Plate. Yes.
Because I'm as like the middle child, that was something that I grew up with. And I remember my girl mentioned it to me one time, and I'm like, hey, look, if I didn't, just get that stuff down quick, I didn't get food, so it was like you had to learn to, to do that. And that's something that I've started to do, and I've noticed it because it turns on those, I'm full receptors a lot sooner. Because before I could get I'd get like 4 plates of stroganoff, and then not realize I was like blew myself out until a couple. And then I was I was in wrestling and boxing and football and stuff to where like I needed the calories, just to sustain. And so then to go from that and then to primarily working
to nothing,
is so it finally I'm done. So we'll see how it works out.
Hey, it's like I said, man, it's been keeping me so happy as of late. Just little changes in everything. Like
that's good.
I'm trying to even remember. So I don't really do the daily affirmations because, to be honest, I forget all the time.
Yeah.
But I do make a point of every morning when I wake up going and just looking out the window for like 5 minutes or something like that, just to kind of like take it in and like.
That's great, man.
Not just be going.
Right. I think there's something to be said about that, whether it's the affirmations. I mean, there's a bunch of different versions that are all kind of similar to the same thing. It's that or meditation, like guided, or like what you're doing with mindfulness, or praying, whatever. It's taking that 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, to just kind of let yourself be, well,
that and so another thing I've been doing is saying to myself, do I need this stress right now? Why would this make me angry? Do I need to be angry about this? And really, I mean, it's slowed everything down. I don't react very quickly to much, but that's been really good, actually.
Yeah, you seem to have a more, placid way about you right now.
I'm a lot more even keel than what I used to be. And I mean, part of it is, finding a medication regimen that actually works. Part of it is being extremely honest with myself about what I want out of life and what I'm willing to do to get it, and just what I want to enjoy. That and kayaking, I swear.
Dude, yeah.
Anybody listening to this, you don't have a kayak, go borrow one. Just go out a couple times, give it a chance.
It's amazing.
Oh my God.
It's awesome. I love it.
Oh my God. I just, so we've got a 12'8" fishing kayak. It's a double fishing kayak.
Now, what is a fishing kayak?
So it's got like rod holders and stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah, mine has that.
Yeah. Okay. So we've never gone fishing out of it, even though I love fishing. When I'm in kayak mode, I'm going to paddle somewhere and I'm just going to drift. I'm just going to chill. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Jeff, you haven't been on yours in a while. I mean, now it's a little. You haven't been on yours in a while, have you? You haven't gone out to Jeff Mountain or Visible Man
Jefferson
Island?
Jefferson Island.
Oh God, that place is amazing. Well, just the experiences, like you said, Tim. Just getting out there. It's instantaneous. As soon as my boat gets in the water, it's the only time in my life where when I get on the water, I can't control it. I can't control anything in my life. Recognizing I can't. But when I get on the water, my muscles just it's like getting into a hot tub or something. I don't know how to explain it. You have to go with the motion of the water, and you have to let go. And you have to go with it, and it's deeply relaxing. And yeah, after like June or July of this year, I didn't go once, and but in the beginning of the year I did.
Yeah, I remember you do the meetings and stuff out on the island. We can't do it out here because our rivers catch fire. So
yeah, but you can light your thing.
Yeah. You flick a cigarette into it, and the whole thing just goes up.
You just lean over and it lights your joint.
I probably haven't in a year.
My kayak is melting.
Right.
I think we went out in September, and it was getting a little chilly.
Yeah.
But we were both in on it, and it was very choppy.
And it's a tandem.
Oh yeah,
you're both in it. Okay. Have you flipped it at all?
No, it's a sit on top.
Okay.
So we're both.
You got to do some
work
work to flip those.
Oh, okay.
When I was in Boy Scouts, we learned how to do all that stuff in a pool at the YMCA. We learned how to flip them and do all that. Yeah, so we'd go.
I don't know how to unflip.
We'd go do it. There's a couple of different ways, but we when we were out in the it was down in Virginia and stuff. We would purposely, do a barrel roll because it's 100 degrees out and you're out there in the middle of the river, and so we would just barrel roll to cool down. Because we had somebody else who had all the gear, so it's not like we were worried about anything falling in or anything like that. And there's something. It's kind of almost meditative in its own way. So we are coming up to the end of the first episode of season 2. Wow,
I'm happy to be back, guys. I'm
to have you back.
I'm really happy that everything's been going, for the most part, okay.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back, man. It's good to see you. You look good. You seem good. It's good to have you part of this.
Yeah,
for you. Sure. Yeah, we are.
So I'm gonna try and be
you're still part of the cast. So anytime you want to come back, we'll have you.
Right. I'll try and be more visible.
Speaking of visible, you should think about joining the Visible Man Discord server, where anybody over the age of 18 is invited. It's a place where we have moderated discussions every day about men and men's mental health. Make sure you check us out at visibleman.org. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you're listening to this, you can actually watch it and see our beautiful faces by checking us out on YouTube as well. Is that everything, Jeff? Did I skip anything?
Oh, no, I think you got it all. Only reflection.
I guess you can't see. It says 14,871 steps.
Not bad. Yeah, definitely not listeners. We're not quite there yet. Anyway, for Visible Man, this is Jack Rollins reminding you that vulnerability is the ultimate demonstration of strength. Cheers.